Welcome to the Indie Film Podcast, episode number 242. When I was a kid, there was no collaboration. It was just you with a camera bossing your friends around. But as an adult, you have to appreciate the talents of the people who you surround yourself with and knowing that you could never have made any of these films by yourself. Steven Spielberg.
Broadcasting from the back alley in Hollywood, it's the Indie Film Hustle Podcast, where we show you how to survive and thrive as an indie filmmaker in the jungles of the film biz. And here's your host, Alex Ferrari.
Welcome, my Indie Film Hustlers, to another episode of the Indie Film Hustle Podcast. I am your humble host, Alex Ferrari. Today's episode is brought to you by Blackbox. Blackbox is a new platform and community that is all about financial freedom for filmmakers like you. If you join Blackbox, you will be transformed from being a worker to being a maker of your own content. And you'll be making steady passive income from the global market. Blackbox currently allows you to upload your stock footage once, get it to many global agencies, and then allows you to share that passive income stream with your collaborators. Whether you want to submit old footage that's been sitting around in your hard drives or create brand new content, Blackbox is for you. It's really quite revolutionary. With Blackbox, filmmakers can concentrate on making great content while Blackbox takes care of all the business BS. Just visit www.blackbox.global to find out more. Today's show is also sponsored by Studio Unknown. Studio Unknown is a crack team of audio post professionals known for quality sound on any indie budget. Whether you need a lush surround sound mix or a quick festival submission pass, Studio Unknown can help you with all of your post-sound needs, from sound design and mix to Foley, ADR, and even a custom score. Contact Studio Unknown and mention the Indie Film Hustle Podcast, and you'll get 50% off one day of ADR or 10% off your complete post-sound package. Just go to studiounknown.com. Today, guys, I have a treat for you. I'm going to do a two-part sneak preview of Suzanne Lyons' Indie Film Producing Masterclass, and I really wanted to share some of the amazing knowledge that she has in this course with you guys by giving you free lessons for you to hear. So today's lesson you're going to listen to is how to option a screenplay, which I know is very mysterious to a lot of people listening out there who are trying to make a movie and they want to go out and try to get a screenplay to produce that movie instead of trying to write one themselves. And Suzanne lays it all out for you guys. So at the end of the episode, I will give you a link to get access to the Indie Film Producing Masterclass. But until then, enjoy the sneak preview with Suzanne Lyons.
So what we're going to do, what I did here, I'm going to bring this over here, Alex, so I don't have to keep moving about, is first things first, right? Like I said, what we're going to do is take one little piece at a time. We're going to option the screenplay. And what some of you are thinking already is, oh, Suzanne, I can't. It's my best friend. That would be like weird. I can't ask my best friend to sign off on this. God almighty, that's just rude. Or it's my brother. I'm going to have my brother sign a contract, an agreement. That's weird, right? One of my friends didn't take the class, didn't need to. She said, I've been around the industry for a long time, haven't produced. I've been in other aspects, but I don't need it. 2 years later, she called me from Cannes saying, and some of you read the book, I think the story's in the book here too, Susan, and she was crying. There's a sales agent who wants to buy, to take on the movie, to sell it. I said, oh, that's why you're crying. Oh, congratulations. She said, no. The problem is, she said, they asked for the chain of title information. The option and then transfer of that, right? Of the ownership. And she said, and I don't have that. And I said, what do you mean? I said, I think you were making your movie 2 years ago, as I recall. This was all going back. That option would have been done 2 years ago. Well, no, she said, it was my best friend. I didn't want to, bother her with signing something. Well, it turned out she and the director had a fight shortly after. And she said the movie could burn in hell for all she cared. And that's about 10 years ago. And it's continuing, to burn in hell, right? Because no chain of title, no movie. It ain't gonna happen. She doesn't even have the relationship with her best friend anymore. You know what I mean? So it's not even like it was worth it. And here's the thing, guys. If it's your own visa, I don't care. I really don't care. It can happen or not, or it can burn in hell for as long as they're, whatever. I don't care. If it's your visa, I really don't. The minute you start selling units and shares, you're a business person, you're opening your LLC, you've got your PPM, you've got legal documents, and now I'm going to my dentist and selling him a unit? You don't get to play the game of, oh no, it was my friend, I didn't want her to sign. I had another person whose budget was $300,000, and those were investors, just one or two. That's a lot of money. I don't care how rich you are, that's still a lot of money. And didn't take the class until after that movie. And I got to tell you, that movie will never be seen because she had no clearance report ever on the script. No script clearance. There are Coca-Cola cans flying everywhere. There's every product known to man. There's license plates. There's people's last name who've done bad things. There's everything that you cannot do in a movie. Okay. And that's so I'm thinking, once again, if that was her visa, and some of you are thinking, oh, Suzanne, there's CGI, just go into post. Well, that was a few years ago, not as easy, but even then, we're not talking about one Coca-Cola can sitting there. We're talking about, 10 of them moving around. You have to just redo the movie, right? But that's somebody else's money. Like, it's a business. So this is really important. Without this first piece in your binder, there's no movie. Okay, so let me tell you a couple little stories about that. It's the option agreement, yeah. I don't care if it's your mom wrote the script. I don't care. I don't trust her. What's that? Same thing. If it's your own. Okay, good one, Natalie. That was really good. What Natalie was saying is, what if it's your own? What if you wrote the script? You still have to do the option agreement, okay? You still have to, because it's part of delivery, which we're going to get to in a second as well. So this one here that I did two today. You're going to have two in your binder. This one is one that I've done for a whole ton of indie, low-budget, SAG ultra-low movies. Easy peasy, or even SAG modified. Easy peasy. So let's just look at it a little bit. Now this price is a little high. I was paying $5,000 for the script, which I don't do obviously until first day of principal or the first day of pre. Usually the first day of pre, just because I want to make sure that I can then start the transfer. But what I did is I even offered a couple of points, which was a lot of points. Ordinarily I wouldn't do that many points, because a lot of times, and you're saying, oh, Suzanne, you're being so mean and you're being so stingy. I'm not. I just want you to know I am the most generous person I know. I always stand in generosity, graciousness, and abundance when I'm doing agreements and when I'm doing my business plan. That's always where I stand. And Kate was the same. My partner was phenomenal. And in this respect. But what I'm saying is, a lot of the times you're dealing with new writers and new directors. So you're really giving them, a check for $200,000. Because this is going to be their chance to be on the screen or on the DVD or on the VOD or whatever, right? So I would not feel too badly. Where you want the money to go, guys, is on the screen. You really want it on the screen, especially the SAG Ultra Low. You don't have a lot of room to play around. So I probably would do more like 2.5% or 2%. And, for the director, I'd maybe, like 2,500, and the writer probably 2,500 or whatever. So it's not about that. The only movie money you'll ever see is in the back end. So you got to keep as much as you can, because you also need to keep as much as you can, because you might need that name actor. And that I've done up, for name actors, I've done up to 7.5% of the back end of the, it was a big name, but I needed that. That was in the pre-sale days back years ago, where we did pre-sales. I needed his name to sell the territories in the pre-sales. Sometimes you need that name, or nowadays you need it just to sell after the fact, right? Yep. Yeah. Rosa?
You scale the back end participation based on the total budget of the film, as well as the talents, celebrity status, or other?
No, what I'm saying is a lot of times in the lower budget, it's their first opportunity anyway. So it's not like they'd necessarily be expecting, a 5%. You might need that 5% for your lead actor.
Would you scale it up or down based on the total budget of the film?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Sometimes, right now I'm working with Mark Smith. That's a different story. Yes, it's going to be a lower budget.
We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor. And now back to the show.
I did a Mark Smith, he did, they got 3 Academy Awards, The Revenant, and he's working on with J.J. Abrams right now on another project, but the one I'm working on right now is with Mark. So even though, the budget might be lower, it's not a J.J. Abrams, he's not going to get the same back end as J.J. would be giving him on that studio film, for example, or that he got on The Revenant, and he knows that. Okay. So it's kind of like you might need to save that. In our case, I probably need to save it for the actor or the director. This particular one I'm doing with Mark is a very director-driven. So just be careful with that. Honestly, oh my God, I've been with people who have given away 10%, not net, gross, to their production designer. I'm trying to remember the meeting I was sitting in where I couldn't breathe for like 5 minutes because I couldn't believe it. I remember I was sitting, it was my own office, because I was doing a private. I was doing a private one of these. It was like 4 or 5 people. And I was going over this section. And he said, well, there's not that many points left. And he said, we've already brought on some of our team. So I said, like, who? God? Like, it's like a 10%. Like, what did you bring on? Well, for our production designer, Suzanne, he's really good. And I'm going, oh my God, on a $200,000 movie. And then he told me it was gross. And then I went through, do you know what? He had over-pointed it. Like there was no more points. Yeah, like he was in the negative points. Because 50% of the points, sometimes 60, so be very careful, are with your investor. Usually it's a 50-50, right? He had given away some of the investor's back end. So just be careful, because I know sometimes we're laughing and shaking our head, but it's like sometimes it's like, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that, or whatever, like we'll get caught ourselves in something, not as crazy as that, but So just be careful with that. Here's the yes, John.
When it comes to a documentary, when you don't necessarily have a script, to protect yourself for the risk of whatever could happen, whether that person walks away, or is there a way that you can kind of protect yourself with a documentary story of a documentary?
What Jonathan's saying is there a way to protect yourself with a documentary story? And do you mean in what way? The person the life story?
I guess we've got a script, obviously, then you can option that script, and it's a physical thing that you can option into your LLC.
Right.
When you've kind of got in effect a life story and you're doing a documentary on someone, is there any way that you can?
I would still do the right, like Kay did, like a book option, the life right. Okay, I did that one too. Okay, I actually have a sample of that. I brought some different samples of things today. The life rights, we did that one time when we were doing a Lifetime movie. So we did we got the rights from the woman. Amazing story, and it was from her. So we were the exclusive. Yeah. And you'll know more about your mentor is the producer, was going to be the producer on that. Did you get in touch with Connie?
Yeah.
Okay, I gave you her information. Okay. Is that clear? So, very good, because the other thing is, what if it's a book? Oh, then there's this great book. You know what? I wrote the script for it. I have that going on right now. And, I've got the script for it, but now I need to go and get the rights to the book. Well, guess what happened? The agent for the book writer said, no thanks. Just like that. Gone.
I hope you guys enjoyed that sneak preview. If you want to get access to the course, just head over to producingmasterclass.com. And I tell you, it is an amazing, amazing course. And next week, I'm going to put out one more sneak preview covering another topic. But Suzanne really goes deep into all this kind of stuff. And if you are even thinking about making an independent film or a micro-budget film, this really, really has a ton of information in it, as well as all the contracts, all the agreements that you need in PDF and in Word files, so you can adjust them and change them to your own production. It's worth thousands and thousands of dollars, so it's really, really a great deal. So just head over to producingmasterclass.com and check it out. Also, guys, I have an announcement. I am currently writing a book, and I'm throwing that out into the universe because I need you guys to hold me to it. And now that I put it out into the universe, I have to finish this thing. It is a beast of a book, and I can't tell you what I'm writing about just yet. Just know it is going to hopefully rock you guys' world. I really am excited about it. So I hope to have that book done by year's end and release it by the fall or winter. And we will be talking much more about that in the coming months as well. But I just wanted to put that out there. And it's an update on A Corner of Ego and Desire. We have submitted to a few festivals. We are going down the festival circuit to see if we can get any attention from the festivals before we start releasing it, seeing if we can get any action on it, and just see what we could do with it. But there will be a new trailer coming out soon for that as well that I'll be working on over the next month or so you guys could see a little bit more of the movie, because I've been getting a ton of emails of like, where can we see it? When can we see it? I want to see it. I want to buy it. Soon, my friends. Soon, I promise you. But thank you again so much for all your support, guys. And don't forget to head over to filmmakingpodcast.com and sign up and subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and leave us a 5-star review. Please, it really does help out the podcast a lot. Thank you again so much. And as always, keep that hustle going. Keep that dream alive. And I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to the Indie Film Hustle podcast at indiefilmhustle.com. That's INDIEFILMHUSTLE.com.